in Amalur.
It's great. I mean, so we showed you already a little bit about, dodging and parrying with the shield. On PlayStation 3, to roll, you press circle, and you're going to be using that often. It's a great way to dodge, arrows and spells. If an enemy's about to swing at you, just roll, forward or backwards to get into them. Also, as you become more aggressive, if you're going to play as an aggressive character, you might not, you'll find yourself rolling into enemies. You'll be attacking them, they'll fall back, and you'll roll into them to keep it going. And maybe, do you guys have any objection to showing the last region of the game, or do we not want to go to Alabasha? Because that's where the enemies that will... Is that cool with you guys? Okay. So we'll go to... I'm not going to show you any story-related stuff at all, obviously. But Alabasha is the last place in the game you go. This is where the most powerful enemies are, so maybe we can see some enemies that absolutely murder. Including the spell-casting enemies are the worst. These guys are tough. Let's see where we are.
Colin, Rio Ken G3 wants to know what you think about the camera.
I think the camera's great. You control the camera as you do with many games like this with the right stick, and it works well. And I actually should probably equip quickly weapons that actually work for me. Let's see, what sword did I have on? Was it this one? Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oh, great. Magic user. So the Tuatha, you'll find out, are quite important to the game. These priests, by the way, are the most annoying enemies in the game, in my opinion. They cast spells. The AI does a nice job of protecting them. Because you definitely want to go at them first, but it's going to be hard for you to do that a lot.
Yeah.
They cast a lot of fire and wind spells that are really, really obnoxious. But that's just the way the end of the game goes. So let's see if I can kill this beast first. Alright, and then see if I can show you, let's see. So yeah, I knock that guy back and you see, the camera there. I roll into him and you can keep it going or whatever, not let him get up, which is pretty cool. I'm also building up my reckoning meter again here, so.
We'll unleash one of those again.
Yeah, let's see if we can find other enemies to do it to. Cool, we're getting there. These guys are going to sleep. Wrong idea.
They should know better than to sleep in a place like this.
But see, my backstab didn't do, these enemies are so strong that my backstab didn't kill them. So I just woke them up and annoyed them.
Mech82 is wondering if there are hidden items throughout the game.
There are. I mean, we showed you literally hidden items. But there are. I mean, there's going to be hidden loot and things you find in side quest, things that you definitely wouldn't necessarily have to or might not even run across. And it seems like a lot of the loot, some of the loot's obviously predetermined, a lot of it's randomly generated, it seems. Man, these zealots are wrecking shop.
Yeah, there's quite a robust system of dynamic loot.
All right, so my meter's full, but I want to save it for the next group of enemies. And it's part of the kind of part of the strategy. These guys are annoying. You know what? I changed my mind.
Yeah, really. Better to use it now than... So you'll notice that the middle bar is slowly winding down. He wants to take care of all of these guys before launching this. Boom.
So you saw the base experience I got, and then as I collected their souls, I got the bonus experience. Just cool.
And that's called Reckoning Mode? Is that what we just saw?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And does that use all of your that whole meter?
It does. When you execute the killing move, it does. What I discovered was if you want to more cleverly use it and save it for later, you could use the power as it kind of goes down to kill the enemies but not finish them off, and then hold down R1 and L1 again to stop the meter, and you keep whatever power you had left. But you don't get the experience bonus. And you still have to manually kill everyone after it's over. So it's not necessarily advantageous.
The Gust Man wants to know if there are any support NPCs that can help you on missions.
There are.
There are quests, yeah, certainly, where somebody's escorting you.
One of the major questions I've gotten, with Skyrim fresh in everyone's mind is, are there literally followers? And there aren't. But yeah, when you do certain quests or certain side quests, whatever, people will accompany you, depending on what quest it is, if they need help, whatever. And what I've noticed too in certain situations, and I won't obviously tell you specifically which ones, is that those characters can die. And not be there to help you when you need them most. So one of the things about fighting these sprite enemies that's really annoying is that you have these standard sprites like the one I just killed, but then you have the elemental sprites, and those elemental sprites actually make all the other sprites around them more powerful.
Yeah.
So you want to.
This guy here.
Yeah, you want to get rid of them first, if preferably. I didn't do that, but it makes everyone else more manageable to fight.
Colin Saw It Coming is wondering if you know of any differences between the Xbox and PS3 versions, but you haven't played the Xbox version yet, have you?
I haven't played the Xbox version. I think that they're, from what I've heard, because other people are playing it in the office, is that there's an install that's optional on Xbox. The install on PlayStation 3 is mandatory, and I think that the game runs much better if you install the game on Xbox. But that's all what I've heard. That's not verified by me yet. So, but we will hope. I endeavor to have the Xbox review up on Monday. And PC hopefully on Monday as well.
The PS3 version review will be going up in about 35 minutes.
Indeed.
You'll see it right here, right before your very eyes on this live stream. David Jambo asks, are certain weapons better against certain enemies?
Yeah, well, I don't know if types. David can probably speak to that more, but I know that elementally there are definitely strengths and weaknesses enemies have.
I mean, I would say a lot of it is maybe affected by the timing of it. So, this long sword is a little bit faster than the great sword, and depending on how quick your enemy is, you might want to choose a fast light one versus a slow heavy one. But against other types, switching to a different kind is a good idea too.
Conroy706 is asking, what does that small circular icon mean on the right hand of the screen? Does he mean on the mini-map up there?
So, I think he means the yellow thing. That's the active. We have an active quest right now,
Which we're a long ways away from.
Yeah, so it's showing you the direction in which you need to go to finish whatever side quest is. Yeah. So that side quest is all the way in this desert area. Sorry if that's distracting.
Time to kill a zealot.
Colin, the Rabid Wookiee, wants to know what you thought of the soundtrack.
The soundtrack's good. I mean, there's good music in here. I think it's somewhat sparse. And I'm not sure.
I haven't heard a lot of music while you've been playing.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that it's even really important. I think sonically, like what's most important in the game is certainly I think that, like I said earlier, the voice acting I think is pretty superb. I could have actually used maybe more music, but I think in a way the lack of music, much like in other WRPGs that people like, the lack of music is somewhat necessary to kind of build the ambience of the experience of exploring. Obviously, there's not an orchestra following you around as you're running into this area for the first time. So there's something to be said about that as well.
But in certain select kind of major moments, you might call it, there are some pretty great orchestral moments.
For sure.
Pieces.
I'm going in.
You're going in.
Yeah, I didn't do any damage to these guys.
No, look at that.
These guys are.
She just didn't even care whatsoever.
Disruptive from casting.
Killin' Duck is wondering if there are pets you can have follow you around.
No, none that I ran into. These guys are much much easier to deal with once their mother is dead. Once they cast spells together.
Colin TDS 0731 wants to know what your favorite weapon type to use is.
I like the longsword for heavy combat, and then the daggers for supplementing that with thief abilities. I think those are the best. But there's something to be said about every kind of weapon. I don't think I actually.
You don't have any chakrams on here, do you?
I think I actually bought one. I just don't think we use them. Yeah.
Show some.
So yeah, we can just show you how chakrams are typically used by mages, so it's a little weird that I would be using them with this particular character type. But
unless you want to be a split kind of character guy, because I often go a little rogue and a little sorcerer, and end up using these as my primary ranged weapon. sorry, what were you going to say?
No, nothing. You can just see that they're kind of used as they're a little unpredictable. They're powerful if you know how to use them, and I think that they'll be a mage's best friend because the mages obviously want to keep their distance. And speaking of mages, I think we also have
yeah, when you have those with fire, that's it's a thing of beauty.
You can also use a stave. And by the way, fire-based staves are really important. You'll learn this early in the game too. You'll encounter some areas, some dungeons that are covered in like spider webs and stuff like that, and you'll need to use the fire-based staves to burn those away if you want to access those dungeons. So it's always good to just keep one of these on you, actually. But back to my long sword I go.
Sinister One asks, can side quests be locked out by progressing too far in the main story?
No, not as far as I can tell. In the review in progress that I wrote, I did write about a side quest that was locked out for me. That was because basically I ran into an enemy and ran away from the enemy because I didn't want to fight it yet, and the bear that I was running away from killed the person that gave me the side quest. So I failed it. And unfortunately, the one glitch I did run into the game was probably something that was just lost in QA testing because of the out-of-order nature I did it in. Without giving away where it was or what the nature of the side quest was. I had to steal something from someone, and you were supposed to kill them and steal the item, but I stole the item and then killed them, and the game didn't count that I stole the item. So that was the only other side quest that I couldn't complete.
Super Rye Guy asks, are there better rewards for higher difficulty settings?
That I don't know.
Can you speak to that, David?
I'm actually looking over to Aaron to see if he actually knows. Yeah.
The higher the difficulty settings you'll get more unlocks.
Yeah, okay. No, sorry.
The viewers didn't hear that.
Oh,
so.
they didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the answer is that there are some rewards that come along with that in the form of Destiny cards. And what was the other one?
Loot.
Yeah, some of the better loot too.
And we've talked a lot about Destiny cards, but I don't think we've really shown them.
Yeah, actually, that's a...
So this is, I think, one of the coolest parts of the game. As you dump points, you can see the requirements above. As you dump points into these various, to might, finesse, and sorcery, respectively, as you level up, you'll unlock these different cards, and you can equip one at a time. These are different than the cards you earn from completing guild quests, which are basically permanent statistical boosts. You'll only be able to select one of these at a time. And so these red cards are based on Brawler only, so when you dump 1 point into Brawler, you get this, or 1 point into Might, rather, you get the Brawler card. As you level up more, and now I have the Warrior card, so the Warrior card, when equipped, gives me all of these bonuses seen at the bottom. But what's cool is, and these are obviously based on, Finesse and Might, and that's kind of cool because as you start to dump points into different kinds of specialties, wherever you'll unlock basically dual type cards that give you special skills in both. So I didn't unlock any, but towards the bottom, if you would start dumping points into all three, you start getting basically like this Wayfarer card gives you a boost to basically everything that would be useful to all three class types. And the Universalist is probably the most powerful, I would say, card in the game. And that would require a basic, a balanced approach to leveling. So that's pretty cool. And I think the
Twist of Fate
the Twist of Fate cards. These you get as you
At special moments in the game.
So like when this is when you complete the Traveler's quest and you don't know really how that happens or whatever, you get this permanent bonus to finesse abilities and piercing damage, which is cool. So that's in addition to all of that other stuff.
Viewers, in a few minutes, we'll be giving away an Xbox 360 copy of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Just tweet us at IGN with hashtag Amalur and send us a question, what you want to know about the game. Tori Parr asks, are there love interests in the game?
No, not literally. I mean, there's some flirtation and persuasion things that you can say and do, but there's nothing there's no relation, cultivating relationships or anything like that. No. Let's jump to one more area.
Shay11 asks, are there any consequences for killing everyone in a village?
Yeah, there are. You could theoretically kill people that would give you quests or side quests, obviously. But you'll also, oh my God, you'll also...
There's a crime system, too.
Yeah, there's a crime system. You'll find yourself arrested. if you make bad choices. And then, of course, you can choose to bribe the soldiers if they arrest you. You can break out of jail, or you can actually just serve your term. If you serve your term, which obviously doesn't take very long, you actually lose experience points, which is very interesting.
The dark dustling.
Spear guys.
Yeah, these guys do like lunging dragoon-like attacks. They're quite frustrating.
A Lucky Bum asks, what's the max number of items you can carry?
So that's tied to, you can see on the upper left here, the inventory limit. You start, I think, at 70. And as you collect items, each item that you collect, not including alchemy items, blacksmithing items, etc., add 1 to your weight. So it's not quite as convoluted as some other games like encumbrance systems. And then I'm up at 90 now because I bought 2 backpacks from 2 different merchants that give you plus 10 to inventory. Don't worry too much about collecting reagents and things to blacksmith and gems and stuff. Those don't count. Only armor and weapons and accessories and potions and stuff like that count. And each potion, by the way, type only counts once. So if you have, like here, I have like 5, minor damage boost, 5 master steel curtain, but those only count once, which is cool.
MD Lomax has a couple questions. Are we able to customize the houses?
Yes. When you get that house in particular that I showed you earlier in the live stream, you can pay the blacksmith in the town to give you add-ons, basically. That will, like for when you get the house initially, you only have like your stash in your bed or something like that, and then he will build you the sagecraft altar, and he'll build you the place where you can do alchemy and blacksmithing and stuff like that. You just have to pay him, and it's actually really marginal amounts of money. It's not a lot of money at all.
And also, can you go into a bit of how the junk tab works?
Sure, I'll do that right after this bell. You can junk a bunch of stuff.
Those execution animations are great.
If you go into inventory and then you go to junk, obviously I have nothing in there right now, but this is where you can basically remove things that you don't want, basically drop items. So if we take, we can just really let's get rid of the item that no one will buy from me anyway. So I junk this, and then by pressing triangle, and then I go back to junk, and it's here. Now, what's cool is I can destroy it, and I get nothing for it. But if you dump skill points into mercantile, which is one of the skills we showed you earlier, you actually start to accumulate money when you destroy items in general, and the higher your mercantile skill goes, the more money you get. So if I destroy this now, you see that my mercantile skill gives me 15 gold, which is totally not a lot of money at all. But it's better than nothing.
Or if you had dumped it into blacksmithing, then you might want to destroy that weapon and use those parts.
Indeed, yeah, you can break apart items you have for their components with a certain blacksmithing skill, right?
Right now, we're going to give away an Xbox 360 copy of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. This is going to go to viewer Josh Cub, who asks, David, did you consider putting multiplayer in the game?
I think, early on, there's probably considerations of all types. In the end, the team really decided that they wanted to, concentrate on making a fantastic single-player experience. So that's where we are.
And if I may, this game doesn't need multiplayer at all. So I'm happy with that decision.
Thanks for your question, Josh Cub. Make sure you're following IGN on Twitter so we can get your address from you, and we'll get your 360 copy of the game out to you. We still have a PS3 copy to give away, so tweet your questions about the game at IGN with hashtag Amalur. Mr. NiceWatch92 asks, what would you say is the toughest part of the game?
The end's really hard. I was talking to a friend of mine here at work that's playing it for one of our sister sites for their review, and the game definitely spikes in difficulty when you get to Alabastra, which is the area we were just in, the very gray and dark and desolate area. The enemies pick up and things become more unforgiving. The only nice thing is that you can jump around to previous areas if you need to like heal up or get items, remove curses and diseases and stuff like that. But the game definitely spikes. I would say the last 10% of the game definitely spikes in difficulty. And there are obviously other difficult areas, but that was certainly the most pressing for me, especially because my character wasn't maxed out. That might be different. By the way, I ran into this. I don't know who this woman is, this elf, but I ran into her because I saw the icon on the map. We were talking about training before, and I'm not sure if she can teach me anything. She can. So she'll teach me lockpicking for 45,000 points.
Pretty expensive.
It is, but it's cheaper. I think it starts
a
at
million gold.
Yeah.
No.
It also starts. I think it goes 15,000 for 1 through 3, and then 30,000 for.
So you're already and you're well over half, right?
Right, exactly. So her skills are gonna be more expensive to teach me because my current skill is an 8. But I can let her just train me, and then automatically the screen kind of goes black as if they're kind of training, and then it kind of comes back and it tells you, it'll pop up and say that my rigorous training has yielded a permanent increase to my lockpicking skill. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
So that's the kind of a way you can really go towards building up those skills without using level up points specifically.
I mean, it might seem expensive, except that you really only get one of those points, on any given level up. So it ought to cost you something, I think, especially at the higher levels.
I'm going to quickly go to here. This is where the summer court is in the game. I just want to show, this is a really cool environment. It's kind of like half town, half forest, which I think is kind of cool, so we can just run around here for a minute. How are we doing on time, man?
Got about 20 minutes left.
Okay.
In 20 minutes, we'll be unveiling Colin's review of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. That will be immediately followed by our Twisted Metal live stream, where David Jaffe will be on here telling us about the game, taking your questions.
That's sure to be interesting as well.
It will be. You'll definitely
That's
want
one
to
word
stick
for
around. All right, so this is the cool town you wanted to show us here.
Yeah, so this is a place you get kind of come early. This is, there's basically a creature type called the Fae in Amalur, and they have basically 2 capital cities, and this is one of them for the summer court. The other court is the winter court. So I just really like this area because it's just very organic. If you look around, like they have buildings, but it's kind of built into the forest surroundings, and this place is like beyond ancient, apparently, beyond. So this was one of the first places I came to in the game where I was like this, because you come here somewhat early, where I was kind of blown away by it. Unfortunately, I basically rid it of all of its quests and side quests, but you can see some of the Fae here. We can actually go, this guy talk to me.
Enjoy your visit to the city, Your Grace. Long live the House of...
So there's actually a great example of, I already exhausted all the conversation tree with him, but he told me, long live the House of Ballads. The reason he says that is because I did the House of Ballads arc already. So people do treat you differently depending on what you've done and what you haven't done, which is kind of cool. So it actually does pay off to go back and speak to different people. I also paid someone in this town to give me an artificial title that when I walk into buildings, they just announce my title for no reason, which I paid like 10,000 gold for or something like that.
Snide Vicious asks, are there status effects such as poison?
There are. You can be poisoned, given all sorts of diseases that will, affect your hit points or your mana, and you have to go to healers to remove those. Or you might have special potions, but they're somewhat rare, in my experience. So you have to go pay people to remove those status elements. At the same time, though, and I actually think it's in this town. Yeah, up here. There are positive status effects like gray magic that you can cast by praying at altars.
In fact, you did one earlier.
Yeah, I did one earlier. I don't think I talked about it. But this town, because of, I guess, the religious nature, has 6 altars. Am I going in the right direction? Yes. And you can pray at them to get different powers, whether it be like an additional ability to mana or health or power, etc. and so on. So let's see if we can go over there and I'll show you. This place is a little convoluted.
Chad A. Thomas asks, when resetting skill points, do job points get reset too?
I don't know. I think only points directly associated with
Ability,
like
skills.
like those three statuses in particular get reset. And I think the reason that is because you could theoretically, like I said, dump all your find trainers to fill all those up, and that won't really affect anything. So these are the altars that I was talking about. You'll see these like individually in various places, and they'll usually be one at a time. But you can see here that there's let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and each of these actually does something different. So you'll have like different skills, and you'll see in the right corner, or I guess on the right side of the screen, you'll see that the abilities are slowly waning. So these give you like a added power and magic abilities and stuff like that.
Welcome. I have.
And this is basically the only place in the game I found where you'll actually have like so many positive status elements, and you usually only have one, maybe two. When you go to those healers to get your diseases or cured or whatever, then you'll actually get statistical bonuses temporarily as well. So yeah, we're running out of time. Let's see what else we want to go.
Holly the Mutt asks if there's more than one ending to the game.
I don't think so. No. David might be able to speak to that.
There is, I don't want to give any spoilers, but there are some differences in how the game can end.
Interesting.
Colin, have you found any rare loot through stealing items?
No. I didn't find anything crazy by stealing anything, but I mean, I did, unless you count like just pillaging through open treasure chests as stealing, but off of different people and off of their goods in their houses, I didn't find anything too crazy, no. And I would sell most of it to a shady character, and I think it was Mel Senchier anyway, so, for myriad gold. How do I know? Sorcerer.
Let us be.
So these are the Tuatha here. They're the main army of villains that you're fighting throughout the main quest. They're kind of a fanatical cult. And they usually have Prismir weapons, so they're pretty good.
Yeah, the Prismir weapons are powerful. Prismir is this special, I don't know, you could call it a mineral or whatever.
Yeah, crystal kind of thing, element.
So I'm terrible at dispelling.
I'm not necessarily any better, but
I don't know if I should do it. I want to find one that's easy. No, definitely not that one. Let's just try it. I might die if I fail.
definitely drink a health
die if
potion
you
beforehand. Well, it does
could kill
damage. It blows up, basically. So it explodes in your face.
So
You can also auto attempt it though if you're really, if you want to actually spend skill points on it, but not actually have to play the mini game.
So you can fail to dispel the ward by not messing anything up in particular. Like when you select something, you'll see those red things that like you hit, those will blow up. But if you just fail outright, there's no like severe penalty. But if you, the idea basically, there we go. So I got poisoned, but I think because of all my positive status effects, it's not actually going to affect me. The idea basically is there was like one line and then two lines, and you have to kind of like select them as the circle goes around in order, and that will dispel the chest.
In order by number of lines?
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult. I don't have many points dumped into dispelling.
Tubes03 is wondering if NPCs respawn if you kill them.
I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe. David might have more to say.
Well, I think that maybe it gets back to what we were talking about before, just in general, whether or not in a region, the enemies are going to repopulate and enemies who come back. So in other words, you're not going to clear out a whole region and then never see anybody fight.
Even with friendlies?
Oh, about friendlies. Good question.
I don't think they do. I don't know for sure. I don't know if you could like literally kill everyone though. I don't know, because I found even when I was breaking out of jail that like the enemies were really strong. Like they're not enemies. They're the prison guards.
Yeah.
And like I just ran away from them because they were going to kill me. So I think that it might just be really hard to kill. Anyone of consequence was probably going to be really hard, if not impossible to kill. I guess is what I'm saying. I'm jumping.
Yeah, he's fine. Colin Ronock12 wants to know, what is your favorite Destiny?
I enjoy the, I like the warrior class Destinies just because they just give you power, which is most important to my character type. So the warrior one's really powerful, although there's a couple that I haven't unlocked yet, and I think the warlord one would probably be the most useful. But you'd have to have 109 in might. And since you're locked into 40 times 3, 120 points, that would literally mean that I'd have to max out my level.
Yeah.
And then,
You'd have to be all might.
Yeah, basically all might with only 11 points to spare, so not my style in this game.
Dr. Dude03 wants to know, are there a finite amount of arrows?
No, you have unlimited arrows, so it's not like Final Fantasy IV or something where you have to buy arrows.
They regenerate.
Yeah, they regenerate, exactly. So you'll have like icons on the screen, and as you use them, they'll like disappear and then slowly reappear. And as you dump points, if you want to, into archery-based skills, then you'll have more arrows to use, and they'll regenerate more quickly.
Are there different types of arrows?
I don't think so.
There's different bows, with different kind of abilities to them. Right. That's done through blacksmithing? No. Through the finesse line.
These guys are
got
wrecking
it.
shop.
So as you're doing abilities, then you add some of those things, right, Aaron? Yeah. Okay.
So as you can see here with these sprites, because they have elemental-based sprites with them, all of them are really powerful, and they're killing me, so I'm running away. Oh god, but I'm running right into these guys. I don't want any part of any of these.
Unless you're going to stealth.
That's just my way. They do this belly attack there. I dodge it out of there.
Yeah, they use that hammer to good effect. Oh, not against somebody with your power, though.
Really got me. This guy just went back to sleep in the middle of the battle, so it's just
Yeah, he wasn't very interested in whatever was going on over there.
that won't work.
But didn't kill him.
Then stagger him.
Colin, DJ Risky wants to know, are there feuding factions in the game?
Yeah, there are. I don't know how literal he means that, and that they're fighting with each other, but there are battles where there are different factions and different groups fighting each other, and you're basically like a third party, for sure, in both main quest and side quest. And as far as I understand, and talking to someone at our sister site reviewing the game, people will treat you differently depending on how you treat specific factions and what you decide to do for them or not as well. Add this.
Viewers, we are nearing the end of our Kingdoms of Amalur live stream. If you have any last questions, tweet them at IGN with hashtag Amalur. We have one final copy of the game to give away for PlayStation 3, and we will be revealing Colin's review of the game in just about 10 minutes.
That's exciting. Finally, after playing it for a month.
This is the payoff.
Shay11 asks, can you do stealth kills with all weapon types?
I don't think so. I think you can do it with Fey
You
Blades
can do it with Fey Blades and daggers.
but not with swords or long swords. It'd be pretty cool if you could.
You can do a big longsword, neck slash.
So I'm slow right now because I'm being hit with ice magic. Let's see. Got him with this belly attack. His body's in the way. Get up.
Yeah, they have range attacks too.
Just me and you.
Rune Lord.
Yeah, you got the chieftain down.
That belly attack is too much. You have to get close to him.
Almost got him. Colin, Wolfomatic15 wants to know if there were any memorable NPCs you encountered.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to spoil too much. I mean, that's kind of meeting different people is kind of one of the most fun parts of exploring an RPG. So I don't want to get too into it. But there are definitely many memorable characters. Probably,
Alan Shear might be one.
Yeah, Alan Shear, who
You meet pretty early on, so it's not too much of a spoiler.
yeah, she's an important character that that will be with you in various ways throughout the game, and she's definitely one of the more memorable characters. Of course, the Fate Weaver you meet early in the game is instrumental to what you're doing. But yeah, you'll find plenty of characters. Especially, I think some of the most interesting characters are probably in the optional arcs that you explore with the guilds. You'll find some interesting people, some thieves and mages, etc.
Jai Loire wants to know, can you join any of the factions in the game?
Yeah, you by completing those factions, you join them. So, I am
Heading them up even, so.
Yep. So I am a traveler, and I am a member of the House of Ballads. And you could be, none of them conflict with each other as far as I understand, so you could do it all if you like. These Tuatha have Feyblades, and they're quite fast. Oof.
Yeah. Those things hit hard.
Man. Piece of these guys. Come on. Do it for the kids.
Oh, you stunned that one guy, though. That was good.
Yeah, I just want to get rid of these guys. Are too quick.
Yeah.
Get rid of them. There we go.
Liquid Pixels is wondering if there are shield or blocking perks.
Yeah, there are. Depending on the destinies and stuff like that you get, you'll get extra perks to blocking. That will just basically withstand more damage or be quicker with drawing your shield or whatever it is.
Yeah, there's some abilities that you can do related to those.
Mint Plan is asking, for those looking to delve deeper into the lore, how is that presented in the game? David, you mentioned a little bit about that early on in the show. Maybe you can reiterate that.
Yeah, the lore stones that we just a little bit ago and activated one of those. You find them throughout the world, and when you activate them, you get a little bit of experience, and you get to hear something of interest about the region and other things.
And I definitely encourage players to you'll find a lot of books that you can read, notes, ancillary things in the environment that you can read, and also definitely explore, if you're interested in the story itself, explore the different conversation trees with characters too, because everyone has an opinion on the politics of the region or different characters, their town or whatever.
Yeah, certainly a lot of it is in the dialogue. There's something like over 45,000 lines of dialogue in there.
Yeah, I mean it's
Quite a bit
it's
to
hefty.
experience.
It's a dense in terms of story. If you're looking for that, it's dense, and that's good. That might be bad for some people, and obviously I don't think it affects the game in terms of gameplay if that's what you're looking for. But if you want the complete package, then definitely explore that.
Yeah.
Eric Shade is wondering if you can show him how to respec through a Fate Weaver.
Yeah, we should do that.
That's right.
We're running out of time.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where is
Isn't
it?
there one right outside of Rathier, I think?
Maybe shop healer,
There it
Fate
is.
Weaver. Yeah. Oh, there. I gotta run.
Oh, because there's enemies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should leave me alone in a second.
You can't outpace a lot of enemies.
All right, we should be good.
Just about ready to wrap up here. We're going to show you how to respec here real quick. Then we're going to reveal Colin's review, and that will be immediately followed by our Twisted Metal live stream.
Fate Weaver, we gotta find him. Where is he? There's so many icons on the screen.
Oh, wait, was it in... I thought it was right outside of Rathier.
Here's Alice Trap. Is time of the essence right now, David?
We're nearing the end, yes. Is this going to take a while?
I hope not.
Can you reiterate what respecing means?
Yeah, basically because the game's based on destiny and your character's really lack of fate. Is it over here?
I think over here.
You can basically re-customize your character. Oh, this icon over here.
All right, while you attempt to get through that, we're going to give away our last copy of the game. This is the PlayStation 3 copy of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. It's going to Inferno 2002,
Shop.
who asks if the dungeons have multiple paths or puzzles.
Not too puzzle-centric. Multiple paths, I mean, there's definitely non-linear dungeons that all kind of come to the same place. Some of them are huge. I'm trying to... There's... Where is it? Up here?
Stepping over here.
Oh, in the walls, I see. That's probably what I'm actually looking for.
Chris, do we have the video review queued up, ready to go?
Voice of God.
Voice of God. God has abandoned us.
Do you know what building he's in? Let's see. In the pub. Is it the?
Good.
Is it this? Oh, that's the. This must be the pub. All right, we'll do this real quick.
We'll blast this real quick, and then we'll play the video review.
It's really not that. I mean, it's not you're not going to see anything spectacular. It's just going to wipe my.
Oh well, I know.
Looking to kill a little time.
All right, so this person's a Fate Weaver, and you can see how you can unbind your destiny for what seems like a lot of money in the beginning of the game, but it's not. When you're as rich as I am.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So you unbind your destiny, select yes. It basically warns you that what you're doing, but it's really there's really no crazy repercussions.
I see.
And then when you go to your abilities, you'll see that everything's wiped. And you go again. Do you have to wait till you level up to rebind to redistribute your points?
No, if you back out, you can click on level up right now.
Oh, okay, there it is. So yeah, oh, I actually did remove some of my skills too. So I guess everything is
Aside from
different.
the ones that you
That I paid for,
right? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you can redistribute all your skills. I have 29 points available, and do all those, and then you'll have 29 times 3, whatever that is, points to put into might, sorcery, and finesse. So that's it.
Well, viewers, thank you for tuning in for our Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning live stream. We're now going to unveil Colin's review of the game. David, thanks for coming by.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Letting us know all about the game. Colin, thanks for reviewing the game for us.
No problem. It was my pleasure.
Playing through it. Up next is the Twisted Metal live stream, so make sure you stick around for that. But here it is right now, IGN's early review of Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. Enjoy.
Yeah. The realm of the Western RPG is becoming more and more crowded. The likes of Fallout, Mass Effect, and the Elder Scrolls keep fans of the genre plenty busy, and breaking into the hearts and minds of those gamers is a difficult endeavor. That's why I'm happy to reveal that there's a new entry on the scene, one that keeps pace with the greats of the genre while easily outclassing all of them in what matters most, gameplay. In short, Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning is an excellent game, one very much worth any RPG fan's time. And as you'll find out, you're going to need lots and lots of time to see all Reckoning has to offer. The fictional world of Amalur is one of the most intriguing aspects of the entire package. Crafted by prolific fantasy author R.A. Salvatore, a man with nearly 24 New York Times bestsellers under his belt, Reckoning's world is dense and well thought out. Everything is intimately interconnected, and while this isn't a game with a morality system, choices and consequences can be seen throughout your journey. I won't spoil the game's plot for you, but let's just say that your character is fateless in a world where destiny controls everything, and that gives you, well, special powers. It's a story rife with fictional characters, locations, and lore, and it can be hard to follow at times, but those who love a good fantasy plot are going to be right at home with Amalur.
You're the one.
In terms of look, Amalur is somewhat inconsistent, but still of a high overall quality. The landscapes in the game are varied, and you're bound to be impressed by what you see. Character models, on the other hand, are of a lesser quality. Everything looks fine and mixes together nicely, but the look of humanoids and monsters alike doesn't quite live up to the game's pretty environments. I'm proud to report, however, that Amalur runs consistently well. While there are some frame rate dips, occasional pop-in, and a draw distance that leaves something to be desired, Amalur never froze or locked up on me even once during my 50 hours with the PS3 version of the game. Kudos to the developers for making such a ridiculously large game that's also as stable as it is. Reckoning's audio is also bound to please. Voice acting is varied and well acted, and truly brings the game's lore and plot to a whole new level. Unfortunately, lip syncing runs the gamut from acceptable to atrocious.
By the dome it worked! You're alive!
Where Reckoning truly stands out is with its gameplay. If you thought games like Fallout 3, Mass Effect 2, or Dark Souls played well, then you're going to be absolutely blown away by how Reckoning plays. Arcadey and action-oriented to its core, Reckoning absolutely puts the competition to utter shame in the gameplay department, and is the game's most impressive feature. The beauty of Reckoning isn't only in how well it plays, but by how outrageously customizable the entire experience is. You can fully craft and alter your character's abilities and skill loadout. By dumping points into different attributes, you can make a character cater to your liking. My own character was a warrior thief, one who wielded a longsword while keeping his daggers at his side for backstabbing. Of course, you could also make a thief mage, a mage warrior, or anything in between. Do you like hammers, great swords, or staves? Equip those. Reckoning is all about experimenting while never being locked into development decisions you may deem undesirable. That's because you can always customize your character again at any time. When you get placed into the world of Amalur, the fun of the gameplay truly shines through. This is a world begging to be explored, and the map is exceptionally expansive. The unexpected is behind every corner, whether it's a character offering a side quest or a dungeon to explore. Amalur is the epitome of the immersive RPG, with a main quest that can be beaten in perhaps 25 hours, but with so much to do around it that it will easily take you another 100 hours, if not much more, to complete. In short, this is a world you're going to want to explore, because while its presentation is what will draw you in, Amalur's amazing gameplay will keep you outright riveted. If you couldn't tell, I absolutely adored my time with Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning. This is a Western RPG with not only the meat necessary to keep you involved for scores and scores of hours, but it's also a Western RPG with something rare in the genre, amazing gameplay. Amalur isn't the perfect package, and it doesn't do anything exceptionally new in terms of quest types, story, or other conventions of the fantasy-themed RPG, but its gameplay is sublime. Put it all together and you'll find a WRPG you won't have any problems dumping your time into en masse. In fact, I'd posit that you'll be hard-pressed to stop playing once you start. For more on Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning, head on over to IGN.com.